Welcome. My name is Craig Pera, the founder of Mindful Habit System. And today I want to talk about something that is life-saving. And I mean this with all my heart. Knowing this information, this one piece of information from a simple online test. This might sound crazy to you. This one online test can change your life in significant ways. And I want to share that with you today because if you have a high score, the good news is there's actions that you can take to not heal. So let me first tell you what I'm talking about. I am talking about your ACE score. ACE stands for Adverse Childhood Experience. So, sometimes you hear about people when they go to therapy and their therapists talk about their past and their childhood, and you wonder why? Well, because those experiences have a massive, massive impact on future mental health and physical health. According to the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, the rougher your childhood, the higher your score is likely to be, and the higher your risk for later health problems. All you have to do is Google ACE score quiz, and you will find multiple online quizzes where you can answer these questions. It takes literally 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So I want you to do this. I want you to do this because now, with any score, there are limitations, okay? And there are limitations to this score. But what this does is this gives you a perspective that is really, really impactful. Let me share with you why I am talking about this. And I'm wondering why my wife just reached out, calling me, and why I'm talking about this. Because, first of all, adverse childhood experiences are common. Nearly 2/3 of adults have at least one. Adverse childhood experiences cause adult onset of chronic disease, such as cancer and heart disease, as well as mental illness, victim of violence. So there's three types of ACEs, three types of adverse childhood experiences. And remember, everybody is on a spectrum. What's up? So nice to see you. The three types of ACEs are abuse, neglect, and household dysfunction. And let me, before I go any further, this is not about making excuses. When you hear the impact of this score, your head, like mine, might explode. And I hope it does, because that means this lesson landed exactly where I wanted it to, because I want this to drive action, to awaken you to your reality so you can do something about it. So abuse, physical, emotional, and sexual. Neglect, physical and emotional. Household dysfunction, mental illness of a parent, an incarcerated relative, a mother who's treated violently, substance abuse, including alcoholism, and divorce. These are the three types of adverse childhood experiences. And the behavior that they produce: physical activity, smoking, alcoholism, drug use, and missed work. Physical and mental health conditions produced by these adverse childhood experiences: severe obesity, diabetes, depression, suicide attempts, STDs, heart disease, cancer, stroke, COPD, and more bones. More broken bones. I want to take a breath before I say this next piece, because it is a little scary when some people take this test and realize, whew. And as you read about it, you'll see the health conditions that graduate from here to here to here to higher. And so when a score of 3, a score of 4, that's when things get serious. Now, an A score of 1 has impact. An A of 2 has impact, but the impact is greater as the score increases. So you can think of an A score as a cholesterol score for childhood trauma. So, for example, people with an ACE score of 4 are twice as likely to be smokers and 7 times more likely to be an alcoholic. And listen, brothers, I was vaping, I was smoking cigarettes, I was, mental health. There was a period in my life where I was obese, inflammatory conditions. Having an ACE score of 4 or above, having an ACE score of 4 or above increases the risk of emphysema or chronic bronchitis by nearly 400%. People with high ACE scores don't love themselves. They don't prioritize self-care. They don't feel good about themselves. Having an ACE score of 4 increases attempted suicide by 1,200%. 1,200%. I want you to take that in. Just breathe into 1,200%. People with an A score, and I know some of you out here fall into this category. Welcome to the club, brothers and sisters. People with an A score of 6 or higher are at risk of their lifespan being shortened by, what do you think? 5? That sounds reasonable, right? The impact, the aggregate of that trauma on your life and your stress hormones and cortisol and adrenaline. What do you think? Maybe 10 years? Write in the comments what you think. The answer is 15 years? The answer is that people with an A score of 6 or higher are at risk of their lifespan being shortened by 20 years. Here's what happens, brothers and sisters. Hurt people hurt people. Broken people bleed all over other people. Pain begets pain. And so if you take this test, first, just more intel, more information. ACEs are responsible for a big chunk of workplace absenteeism and for costs in healthcare, emergency response, mental health, and criminal justice. The 5th finding from this massive ACE study is that childhood adversity contributes to most of our major chronic health, mental health, economic health, and social health issues. Oh my God. So you, with this information, let this be a call to action. Let this be the new math. The new math is, if I don't prioritize my mind, body, and spirit and deal with this albatross around my neck, I am going to suffer and I am going to cause other people to suffer. I don't have to negatively react. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be in pain. That's the beauty of this information. You can do something about it. You can do something about it. You can find a therapist and a counselor. Find a coach. Join Smart Recovery. If you've never heard of Smart Recovery, you should. It's an evidence-based, science-based, free program for people struggling with addictions. Join a support group. Practice rigorous self-care and self-love. Always. Let that be your guide. I'm always going to prioritize my self-care. I am always going to love every cell in my body and every space between every cell, even my ugly parts, because I know the new math is doing that is going to help me manage stress, help me live a more mindful, present, joyful, peaceful, kind, successful, profitable, loving life. So let this broadcast be a call to action. Do two things, please. Do two things. Take the ACE quiz. Just Google ACE quiz, ACE score. There's one article on NPR. You'll see that pop up third or fourth down. There's another article on another site, legitimate, respectable sites that give you some information about these ACE scores. And you can take the quiz. And after you take the quiz, then you can do about it. You can take action. You can read about the impact of where you may fall statistically. It's important to know that. Right? It's important to know that. And so, because then you've got, oh, wait a minute, look at these numbers. I can't ignore these facts. And you can't look yourself in the mirror, I don't think, or it's harder to look yourself in the mirror. It's harder to look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm on the right track. I am, and let me give you like some basics, right? Some basics, absolute basics. I call this the fundamental five. And they're so important. And they are the most obvious things. And you know what they are. Like, I had a client once who would text me, Craig, you're a genius. I've been in addiction recovery for 20 years. And I can't believe that we are focusing on these important issues such as eating well, sleeping well, hydrating, exercising, and practicing mindfulness. And so this client, he would send me pictures of his water bottle and woo, like, man, oh man. And listen, I get the joke. It's funny. We all know that there are things that we should be doing that we're not doing. We know that. And when confronted with that reality, one has to answer the question, why not? Why not? Because you are in pain? Because you hate yourself? Because you may be drowning in shame or insecurity or not good enough? And that is not just a bad place to be emotionally, leading to addiction, pain, suffering. We now know, and they've known for years, the impact physically. And I think that does something to people. At least that's been my experience. It like, whoo, wait a minute. I know where this is headed. You can look at your weight, chart your weight gain. And so people are angry. People are sad. People are scared. And so much of that goes back to childhood. And it's also a call to action to be the best parents to our children. and we don't know how. How do we, drive home some of those lessons that kids need to learn without physically abusing them? Those are fair questions to ask for those of us who are physically disciplined. So it's hard. It's hard. I do not speculate harmful because violence begets violence. Violence begets violence, and I believe the data is supportive of that. So it gives us an opportunity to be better parents, be better leaders. So I hope you calculate your score. If you're a wife who's listening, share this with your partner. If you're a husband who's listening, share it with your partner. If there's a friend in your life that is struggling, maybe this bit of information is this little bit of information dials up the priority of self-care, self-love, all those things we know we're supposed to do, but we don't. So I hope this is a call to action. Don't be scared. Wherever you are in your life, you can impact these metrics. And I hope this inspires you to do that. Thank you so much for listening. And if you do need more help, please visit my website, www.themindfulhabit.com, or beatdigitaladdictions.com, which is where I have my new sex addiction and porn addiction program, is at beatdigitaladdictions.com, because we've had such success. You can't treat sex and porn addiction without creating a healthy relationship with technology. So I realized that there were so many people who struggling who did not fall into this category. So anyway, that is the website. You'll be hearing more about that as we grow and as the episodes from the television show Intervention air. I think they're calling it Digital Addiction. I am super, super excited about that. I filmed 3 episodes. And I got to tell you, so intense, and holding that space for the pain that's there with strangers, people that you've just met. I felt like I was part of something special. I hope that's that. And thank you for joining me for the ride. Look forward to the next podcast. Make it great. Feed the right wolf inside you. Embrace your power of choice. Bye.